Hello, all. I would like to say hi and welcome. And I'm seeing two things that really worry me for the future of this country and this world. And they're really close to my heart, more or less. And one I believe can be positive, the other one not so much. I'll start with the negative one first. There's some new evidence out, new data, that says that Gen Z young men with a college degree are less employed than those without one by a factor of 2 or 3%. Now, why is that so important? We see as millennial, we were always told growing up that you'll never be without a job if you have a degree. And that's just a big old lie, if I could tell any of these Gen Z kids anything. I try to make my first book for them, try to get past all the miasma, all the misery, all the sycophancy of the society. This video is going to be a little mean, a little angry, but not much more so than usual. So, buckle in if you don't have to buckle up. And that really irked me. I have 2 degrees. I'm trying to complement them, to use them. And I just don't know anymore. I tell all these kids, if I see a young person, I say, go to trades. Put that money for a down payment from college into a business. Your parents give you anything, put it towards that. And I feel really bad for the Gen Z, the youngins. So, they've been hit with so much propaganda and lies and nefarious machinations. And it's not good. It's not good. They were lied to, too. And I think we're going on 3 generations now. And I'm just using generations as a basis point of conversation. It's actually kind of useless in other metrics, where we were told to go to college. Now, as a millennial, I never once believed in the whole pick any degree you want, pick any career you want, the money will follow, or pick your dream. And that's not real. That's not true. By any observable evidence I've seen. People just can't exist, okay? So I think a big problem is today, people just want to exist and monetize it or get favors or, compliments for just being you. And that's not reality. It isn't. It is not reality in any way, shape, or form. It's not how the world works, okay? You see, I think the biggest problem that this society has done to my generation and others is that price equals value when they're polar opposites, mutually exclusive. Know what I mean? For instance, I bought this light here recently for the YouTube. It was barely $30 or $20, but lets you see me, lets you hear me better by seeing who I am. I'm out in the dark. Puts a face, and that has value. I bought this iPad to do YouTube and just have an iPad. And just like I bought this microphone so you can hear me better, which when you're delivering a message and using your voice, that's invaluable, priceless. I think they've helped the experience. I hope so. No one's told me it hasn't. I'll wait for that. And I really have nothing against education, but colleges. Colleges have played their hands a little too far. And it's shown that college admissions have dropped drastically in this year. Now, that could be a mixture of the low population size of Gen Z, people foregoing a college degree, and people really questioning it. Because that's the one thing that these institutions don't want you to do is question stuff and think. And on the other side of the coin, though, if you're doing a degree, it's something that's marketable, or valuable or lucrative, then that's on you. I'd say my degrees are more mid-tier, okay? And we do need the arts. We do need creative stuff. We can't just have business. We can't just have science. We need other things. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, but all play and no work makes Jack starve, as we're learning. And again, it's a very complex issue with no real clear bad or good side. There's been concessions and considerations and compromise on both sides of the discourse. But again, I tell these kids about trades, businesses, creating stuff, making businesses, which these days making a business, despite getting the capital, that's still the hard part, is easier than ever. You can get LLCs formed. You can get business insurance quickly. You can have things written up, all from the comfort of your own home. And that's what I'm leaning towards, because I don't see companies being that thoughtful for us. Because after 2020, my whole views on life changed drastically. And seeing the fallout of that has really kind of dampened my spirits on being helpful. And that's a me problem, and I know it. And I just don't want these kids being tricked. Now, if they want to go to college for something they really want, which is more or less what I did, I thought I'd hit the quote-unquote jackpot when I found something I like to do and something I'd want to do, but I don't. There'll be a backup if things I'm doing now, business I'm trying to start now, do not go off the floor. And that's fine. I try to incorporate them into these videos, into my books, into my practices, and trying to help people. And yeah, they're not as valuable as they once were. That's 100% a fact. And I just want people to know that. They've lost their luster. No matter how much Vaseline or oil you put on them, they're still not shiny. I'll put them on my wall because I'm kind of ashamed of mine. And again, that's just me. I'm not trying to push that on anybody who has a degree, and if you like what you're doing, that's fine. Again, it's just my projecting my own thoughts outwards, my perceptions, my perspective. If you don't like it, fine. But they're mine, and I will share them, as I'm allowed to do. And the next worrying thing is they're having lots of layoffs. And the worrying thing about that, I see a lot of doctors and nurses getting laid off. A lot. And I believe it's from losing government subsidies and insurance problems, which I see as both a good and a bad thing. Let me take myself as an example. I have a degree in nutritional sciences dietetics. Okay? That's what I have in my bachelor's. And I thought to myself, well, why can't we just preemptively strike the disease or the malady or problem, okay? Where we position ourselves through our own practices and exercises to help ourselves. What I'm getting at is, I see dietitians as helpful for those with medical conditions, which I'm not shaming people with them. If you have them, go seek help. Go seek medical help, either from a doctor, a dietitian, clinical, nutrition. We need those. We need those. But I think they're just getting too expensive. I see a real rise on holistic health. People that want to take their health in their own hands, which I've advocated for forever. It's how I lost all my weight. It's how I stayed healthy these whole years by taking control of myself. Reining in my more less unhealthy ways. And again, it's not about it's like the tiger and the thorn. Why don't you just try not to get another thorn? Which is easier said than done. Food is delicious. I sometimes sit for long periods of time writing and I just started recently going back to the gym, and it wasn't pleasant. Old muscles are like sore muscles are like ex-girlfriends. They hurt you a lot more. They'll never forgive you for what you did to them, and you can just placate them. But I think going forward, people shouldn't expect people to save them. I never have. I've always tried to do things my own way. If I couldn't get it, I couldn't get it. And being unemployed for how long I've been, which I believe is really no fault of my own, I believe it's the area. I'll say that right now. It's that I don't know if people want to be healthy or could put in the work, and I really have no time or patience for those people. I want to be a teammate. I want to be a partner. I want to be a coach. I don't want to be a pincushion, a doormat, a parrot. I want to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Because telling people what they want to hear has got us a lot of problems today, a lot of crises, a lot of problems, lots of epidemics can all come back to the idea that people slid down the slippery slope of just doing what they wanted and thought nothing of the consequences. Which, as a species, we're not really good at discerning bad stuff till it happens, which is just human nature, to be fair. We need to combat as best we can. There's no such thing as no biases, no contradictions, and in some way, small or big, everybody's a hypocrite in some way or form. No one's perfect, and that's fine. I'm not asking for that. I'm not telling you that. And again, I'm working on my nutrition coaching to help people not need to go to those things. Which, if you did all the things you were supposed to do and be healthy, you can still end up with those. There's no guarantee. It's prevention, not nullification. I can't promise you that. No one can. Anybody says otherwise is lying through their teeth, trying to sell you something. I'm trying to help people, trying to give a message of hope, of medicine from within, the goal and the goal to go forward. And yeah, I think that's pretty scary. That there's less doctors and nurses. We need those people. And for the longest time, I thought that those two jobs were bulletproof nearly. Like, yeah, if you're a bad doctor or nurse, you got let go. That's one thing. But just being let go just out of the blue, I didn't see that coming. So that's a worrying trend. It's a big problem in most of the world, Western world. Lots of doctors and nurses, mostly, I believe, because of cost and time spent, and a good chunk of people being unwilling to take advice, to learn, to listen, to make a difference in their own lives. That's just a fact. People are stubborn, and that can become very bad. It's very bad to do that. You need to listen once in a while, okay? It's up to you to discern the source. It's like me being kind to people. Not everybody deserves kindness or help. They don't. You choose who you help. You choose who you be kind to, who you are grateful for. And if they don't reciprocate that, then forget them. Okay? It's just that simple. I'm loyal to my idea, my vision of helping people. Not for somebody to tell me what I want to hear. It's not good. It's not healthy. And I think a lot of these problems are going to get worse. And yeah, see a lot of problems getting worse, which again is for a video for another topic. One more sobering, more somber, but one I want to tell through my coaching. Thank you and good day.